Hello there, hobby homies. It's time to serve up another box of magic on silver platter. Figured since Mr. Lowe was generous enough to give us some 2020 core earlier in the week, figured I'd just open a box of core 2020 right now. Just keep sticking with the tradition. Let me shank it open real quick. We can get this party started. See what kind of goodies we can get this week. I'm real close to building this set. Probably about 10, 12 cards. Pack number one. Let's see what we get, homies. If this is an indication of how the packs are going to open today, it's going to be good times. Moat piranhas. Cavalier of Thorns. Look at that. Just pulled that one the other day in the Mr. Lowe pack, but it came with the foil. Reach. When Cavalier of Thorns enters the battlefield, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put a land card from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest into your graveyard. When Cavalier of Thorns dies, you may exile it. If you do, put another target card from your graveyard on top of your library. And there's some Shimmer Bone-clad Necromancer. It's pretty cool looking. Convolute Goblin Smuggler. Befuddle. Steel Overseer. Put a +1/+1 counter on each artifact creature you control. Golos Tireless Pilgrim. When Golos Tireless Pilgrim enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card. Put that card onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. Pay a bunch of mana. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana cost. There's a shiny Thornwood Falls. Wake Root Elemental. Pay 5 green mana, untap target land you control. It becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. This effect lasts as long as that land remains on the battlefield. When the forest walks, it's too late to run. There's a shimmery ogre right there. He's cracking the whips. He could crack 2 whips. That's saying, yeah. Moment of heroism, negate. Goblin Bird Grabber. I like the goblins, they're pretty cool. Scheming Symmetry. I got about 4 of these. Choose 2 target players. Each of them searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library and puts that card on top of it. 1 for you, 1 for me. What could be more fair? Legion's in. Look, it's got the precious on it. Look. Legion's End. Exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 2 or less, and all other creatures that player controls with the same name as that creature. Then that player reveals their hand and exiles all cards with that name from their hand and graveyard. More Moat Piranhas. Epicure Blood. Got that one last pack too. Silverback Shaman. Kethis. The Hidden Hand. Legendary spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard. Until end of turn, each legendary card in your graveyard gains. You may play this card from your graveyard. The pen is mightier than the crown. Come on. Another bird grabber. Ferocious Pup. Temple of Mystery. Oh, and there's some Moat Piranhas with the shimmer and the shine. Moat Piranhas. They look like they come out of Ark if they be red. Lavakin Brawler. Leyline of Sanctity. Leyline of Sanctity is in your opening hand. You may begin the game with it on the battlefield. You have hexproof. You can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. There's some more shine. A little Ember Holler. Fairy Miscreant. Ripscale Predator. Another disenchant. Frost Lynx. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Knight of the Ebon Legion gets +3/+3 and gains death touch until end of turn. At the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Knight of the Ebon Legion. Damage causes loss of life. Ripscale Predator. I just saw you last pack. I'm pretty sure. Disenchant. Temple of Silence. Another Goblin Bird Grabber. Grave Digger. Cavalier of Gales. Flying. When Cavalier of Gales enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. When Cavalier of Gales dies, shuffle it into its owner's library, then scry 2. Another Goblin Smuggler. Drawn from Dreams. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. There's a Platinum Island. There it is. Not really. Still giving me some problems. Frilled Sea Serpent, Soul Savage, Growth Cycle. Brought back. Choose up to 2 target permanent cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Return them to the battlefield tapped. Infuriate, Fairy Miscreant, Thicket Crasher, Villainous Broker of Blood, Flying, pay 2 life. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. Damage causes loss of life. Sedge Scorpion. Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord. Target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. If it's a vampire, put a +1/+1 counter on it. You may sacrifice a vampire. When you do, Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. You may put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. I think that's a pretty good card, actually. Probably worth a couple of dollars. I think that's like the 3rd or 4th Sorin I've got. Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, Legendary Planeswalker. Put a loyalty counter on each red Planeswalker you control. Create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. You may cast target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. If that card would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Goblin Smuggler, Stone Golem, another silverback. Repeated Reverberation. When you next cast an instant spell, cast a sorcery spell, or activate a loyalty ability this turn, copy that spell or ability twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. Treasure. Bone to Ash. Yoked Ox. Scooped them up in the yoke. Leyline of Anticipation. I don't remember if that's the one I just got earlier or not. No, it's not. If Leyline of Anticipation is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. You may cast spells as though they had flash. Who had a dog named Flash? Field of the Dead. Field of the Dead enters the battlefield tapped. Whenever Field of the Dead or another land enters the battlefield, under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Goblin Smuggler. 3rd one of those I got. Raise the Alarm. Shock. Tail's End. Counter target activated ability, triggered ability, or legendary spell. When you are gone, will anyone remember your story? Probably not. It'll just be the guy with the YouTube videos can't open his packs cards. Be like, oh yeah, that was that dude couldn't open the packs. Look at him struggling right now. Yeah, use the tool bag. Squad captain. Epicure blood befuddled. Legion's End. Exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 2 or less, and all other creatures that player controls with the same name as that creature. Then that player reveals their hand and exiles all the cards with the names with that name from their hand and graveyard. Squad captain with the ran it through the rainbow. Got it all shiny and colorful. See, look at me. Looks like the adventures of Captain Struggles here. Drakuseth, Maw of Flames. Flying whenever Drakuseth, Maw of Flames attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. Spread out, you idiots. Spread out. Now that's some good stuff right there. Leyline of Sanctity. We got this one. Look. With the precious on it. Carry target's Leyline of Sanctity in your opening hand. You begin a game with it on the battlefield. I don't remember if that was the one I got or not, but whatever. It's got the shine on it and the shimmer. Bone to Ash. Real Sea Serpent, Mammoth Spider, Chamber Timber. Yeah. Planar Cleansing. Destroy all non-land permanents. Look at them just getting sucked up to the sky. Sucked somewhere. Treasure. Look at that like butter. Just, oh, another bird grabber. No, Smuggler. Frosted Pup. Rabbit Bite. Lotus Field. Hexproof. Lotus Field enters battlefield tap. When Lotus Field enters battlefield, sacrifice 2 lands. Add 3 mana of any one color. Got several of those. I think I even got Lotus Field with the precious on it. Saphira, Sky's Blade. You may pay 1 white mana and tap 4 untapped creatures you control with flying rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Flying, lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying have indestructible damage and effects that say destroy, don't destroy them. Octoprofit. Rotting Regisaur. At the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card. Now that's a zombie. Another soldier. There it is. Oh no, I didn't do that. Put him down. Hanged Executioner. Flying. When Hanged Executioner enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Exile Hanged Executioner. Exile target creature. Yeah. Metropolis Sprite, Gift of Paradise, Unsummon, Loyal Pegasus, Temple of Epiphany. The Temple of Epiphany enters the battlefield. Scry 1. And there's a mountain with some shine on it too. Chandra, Awakened Inferno. This spell can't be countered. Each opponent gets an emblem with, at the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. Chandra, Awakened Inferno deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. Chandra, Awakened Inferno deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. You've been exiled. Well, that's the one with all the gold in it. Oh, Voracious Hydra. Got this one, yes, in the Mr. Low special too. Trample, Voracious Hydra enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When Voracious Hydra enters the battlefield, choose 1. Double the number of +1/+1 counters on Voracious Hydra. Voracious Hydra. Fights target creature you don't control. Voracious. Oh, goodness. Look at it, it's right there, and it's like, nah. Gotcha. Bloodburger, Unsummoned, Murder is murder. Dread Presence. Whenever a swamp enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. Dread Presence deals 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. And there's another fairy miscreant. What's he doing? Is he OJ in that book? Is he like cutting up the book? What's he trying to do there? It looks like he got a shank in his hand. Flood of Tears. Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. If you return 4 or more non-token permanents you control this way, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. There's a Shimmering Sedge Scorpion. Just right there, come on. Octo Prophet, Duress. Glinthorn Buccaneer. Haste. Whenever you discard a card, Glinthorn Buccaneer deals 1 damage to each opponent. Discard a card, draw a card. Activate this ability only if Glinthorn Buccaneer is attacking. Shared Summons. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards with different names. Reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle your library. Pretty cool looking. The Temple of Malady. Meteor Golem. That's pretty cool looking with the shimmer and the shine. There it is. Bling bling. Last pack, homies. What are we gonna get in it? It's that line running right down right there. Of course, it would take like it'd be hard to open. I'm gonna let you get away that easy. Embodiment of Agonies. Flying, Death Touch, Embodiment of Agonies enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each different mana cost among non-land cards in your graveyard. For example, 2 in black mana and 1 and 2 black mana are different mana costs. I feel your pain. It's exquisite. That's what we got, man. Burn through these real quick, like. Show you what we got one more time. Pow. Embodiment of Agonies, Temple of Malady, Shared Summons, Glinthorn Buccaneer, Flood of Tears, Dread Presence, Voracious Hydra, got it right that time. Chandra, Awakened Inferno, Temple of Epiphany, Hanged Executioner, Rotting Regisaur, Sephira Skyblade, Lotus Field, Planar Cleansing, Leyline of Sanctity, it's got the Precious on it. Dark Kuseth, Maw of Flames, Legion's End, Tails End, Field of the Dead, Leyline of Anticipation, Repeated Reverberation, Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord, Villa's Broker of Blood, Brought Back, Drawn from Dreams, Cavalier of Gales, Temple of Silence, Knight of the Ebon Legend, Leyline of Sanctity, Temple of Mystery, Kethis, the Hidden Hand, Legion's End, and this got some sparkle on it too, a lot of glitter. Scheming Symmetry, Wake Root Elemental, Golos Tireless Pilgrim, Steel Overseer, and the Cavalier of Thorns. And that's what we got for this box of 2020 core. Appreciate you watching. Follow me on Twitter at, let's center this here. Get your fingers together. Hobby homie right there. Ooh, did it. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. And until next time, we is out of here. Maybe. Yes, we are. Later.